up, YouTube? Is this your boy, the Visionary? Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chats. This is not preludes. This is not, concepts, psychology, all that stuff. This is me doing a rant. This rant is basically on the current state of cultural cognizance of the common people. I don't know what the fuck to call this shit. But anyway, I'm cleaning my room right now. So, I go on Facebook, not even just Facebook, like if I go to newspapers and stuff like that, I see the common citizenry's inability to focus on the more important issues of the day, which affect us all. I don't know if this is part of the PSYOP, and yes, there is such a thing as a PSYOP, and we are all under a certain sort of PSYOP. So, there's no arguing about it. Pay attention to what the fuck is going on, yada, yada, yada. But, I noticed this ongoing PSYOP where no one can pay attention or focus on the real important things. Look what's going on. The war in Syria that's about to pop off. The proxy war between the US, UK, and France and Germany versus the Middle Eastern countries, as well as Iran, Russia, China. And that is going to be the precursor to World War III, in my opinion, from my estimates and from what I'm seeing. The ongoing, if not total, complete destruction of the Constitution in terms of, the NDAA, the NDRS, National Defense Resource Preparedness Act, the Monsanto Protection Act, the Patriot Act, all these other acts, these amendments that have been passed in Obama's administration that completely destroy and eradicate the Constitution. Now, I'm seeing this and I'm going, why aren't people talking about this? Like, why aren't they focusing on this shit? And I'm not talking about when people post or put up or blog or Twitter little cute stories about puppies doing cute shit. I'm talking about like the minor issues versus the bigger issues. Like we got the whole Trayvon Martin situation, right? I was one of the biggest advocates of like getting some type of justice or racial justice in regards to what happened. But as time moved on, the story vanished from the public view, and then I started to realize all it was just a distraction. It was a distraction story. Now they're starting to bring up the case, and all of the old memes are starting to pop up. Like, Vic got like 23 months of jail time or some shit like that for dog betting or whatever, and then the George Zimmerman didn't even get arrested until like a few weeks months after the actual event occurred. And then, just because there was a public outcry that, he needs to be arrested, that's the reason why he got arrested. And he killed an innocent black kid for no reason, yada, yada. Now, me personally, I honestly think this nigga needs to get it. First off, he needs to get fucked up, he needs to get raped, and then at the end of it, he needs to get brutally murdered, in my fucking opinion, because I'm tired of seeing this shit all the time. I remember seeing that video of this, I think it was a Rutgers college student, this black chick who flipped out in class, because I think hearing the story made a snap, and people are like focusing on like, they trying to blow it up, like, she's gonna kill people, she's gonna fuck people up in classes. No, she didn't say anything about that. She was talking about she was pissed off at the event and she snapped. That's basically what the fuck happened. Because if you was listening to what she was verbally saying, she's like, what about you? What about racism? What about why the fuck every time y'all motherfuckers killing us and shit, and blah blah blah. And people are not focusing on that shit at all. But going back to the Trayvon Martin thing, they keep bringing up the meme, constantly bringing it up, because it's one of the things that keeps minorities, especially blacks and Hispanics, in a static, cognitive, primitive mental state. Like, they can't evolve beyond that. They can't evolve beyond the old race battle and really the whole clash of racism. It's really a battle. A clash of classes, a clash of cultures, basically. It's the rich against the poor. But they, basically what they done is they said, you know what, we're going to keep the poor fighting each other, because we're going to say, you know what, because you're a certain color, you get certain privileges that we're going to give you here and there that makes you better than everyone else that's in the same fucking class. Just makes no fucking sense, yada yada. You get the drill, you get the drift. But this whole Trayvon Martin thing, and it's not just the Trayvon Martin situation, it's the stories that keep coming up, that keep dividing everyone into smaller and smaller groups. You got women versus men, and even that, there's so many different conflicts with that. First you have regular women versus regular men, Then you have marriage. Then you have single parents versus single mothers versus single fathers, and it just goes on. Then you have straight women who want to who want to have the right to choose to abort their kids versus straight men who say no, you should not, or blah blah. Whatever the fuck the case may be. Gay versus straight, white versus black, Spanish versus black, Chinese versus everyone else, white versus Russian. The whole fucking gambit, the whole fucking shit that's happening right now. I swear to God, people need to like wake the fuck up. If you see a story where it's some aspect of racism, get the fuck off it, because it's not about racism anymore. That's just the surface level issue. That's what they want you to focus on, because they don't want you to. They want you to look left and right instead of up and down. Look up. Look at the motherfuckers that are close up to the top of the fucking pyramid, and you're gonna start realizing, yo, them niggas is the one that's causing the fucking problem. They're the ones who are responsible for all the fucked up shit that's going on. All the wars in Iraq, the bullshit wars in the Middle East, the Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and all them other places. The fact that the economy's fault is collapsing in and of itself. Whether or not you want to attribute it to negligent incompetence, or whether or not it's really some divine plan that was created years and years ago to bring humanity to its knees, whatever you want to attribute it to, it's happening, and there's a certain amount of people who are responsible for that shit. The 1%, the Council of Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, whatever title you want to give the motherfuckers, it's them. Focus on those motherfuckers, the rich motherfuckers. And I hate to put that specific title on them, the rich, but people need to understand that whenever you have a society and you have different classes of people that are mixed together, where you have poor, middle class, and rich, you have to understand within each class there's a certain type of mentality, there's a certain type of ideology, and over time, given enough time, when these different types of classes do not communicate and connect with each other, they evolve to the point where everyone or every person who's from another class becomes a threat. That's how these rich motherfuckers think, period. All the shit that you see that's happening, like in Europe, specifically Europe and the Middle East, in regards to the economic crisis that happened over there, that led to the austerity measures, the austerity cuts that the EU is trying to do to their people, especially the UK. The funniest shit, I'm going online, no, I wasn't online. I came into the house, I turned on the TV, and I was on BBC. Side note, start watching BBC, because BBC gives you far more information, far more truthful perspective on what the fuck is going on. In fact, anything that's not US based is better than the fucking US. Even the propaganda that's coming from Russia, the shit that's coming from the Middle East, is better than US information. Like, straight up, bar none, period. Period. Like, that, get your information from there. I have friends telling me about stuff that's happening over there. A friend of mine who's informing me about shit, because he focuses on BBC, and I'm like, yo, I'm starting to see the BBC is where it's at on top of that. But I go to the Democracy Now!, NPR, other places that are kind of like left-wing or moderate or more or less non-affiliated with U.S. or backed companies and so on and so forth. But yeah, like, look, I was going TV, I was watching the TV, I was watching cable, and the station that I was watching was, what was the station? Yeah, BBC, and they were, basically, there was a article that this is what the fuck happened, right? The Queen of England and the Parliament, right, just implemented a new act where everyone that's part of the government and parliament are getting a pay raise while they're implementing austerity cuts. What the fuck? Are you serious? You useless parasite class? You're paying yourself more on top of the more money that you're going to be taxing from the people, and the cuts that you're going to be doing to basic public welfare assistance and all that shit that holds the country together, and you're getting paid more? Fuck out of here with that dumb shit. And that shit is happening all over the place. Like, period. Like, you're going to start seeing more and more of that until the wealthy classes is like, yo, like, you're taking more than you offer. Like, you don't produce anything, and you're causing people to suffer, and your existence is a problem. Period. It's going to happen. There's going to have to be a revolution, a bloody fucking revolution. There's going to have to have a French Revolution where motherfucker heads is going to be chopped off, or motherfuckers thrown out the window, defenestrated, or something like that. Seriously. Because this shit is getting annoying. Motherfuckers can't find jobs, can't raise families, and the people are just too, and you can't blame the people. The people this was planned. Motherfuckers are stupid, they're medicated. Specifically, they're stupid. The fluoride in the water, yes, it sounds like a conspiracy, but the shit is too. Look it up. Look up fluoridation in the water. Look up, number one, Fluoridation in the water, present day. Look up number 2, the history of fluoridation as it pertains to Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany and the fucking Holocaust. If Hitler was doing that, something has to be attributed to that. And number 3, look up defluoridation of water in regards to certain states. Yes, certain states in America have actually had movements and protests to get fluoride taken out of the water. Know what happened? Some of those protests and those movements actually worked. They got acts passed which removed the fluoridation for the water, and then federal regulations stepped in and said, yo, they forced the local governments to start refluoridating water. Period. That should let you know there's a reason why they're fluoridating the water, and it's not because they want you to have good, clean, strong fucking teeth. Period. Don't believe that bullshit. Do your own research as to what fluoride is. Look up what it does. Look up videos, look on YouTube, look up Daily Motion, look up what fluoride does to biological systems, look up what it does to people over an extended period of time. Look up that shit. It's very important that you look into that shit. It's too much shit that's going on. Too much fucking shit. But the most important thing I want to talk about is really the major issues. You have, and really specifically, it's 3 things. The advent of World War III, which is happening right now in the form of a proxy war in Syria between the U.S., France, nations in the UK, and Germany, versus Syria, who's backed by Iran, Russia, and China, and other little Middle Eastern countries and states. The second issue is the destruction of the United States Constitution slowly over a long period of time. Period. That's the reason why Obama was elected. This is the reason why this guy named Breitbart, he was about to come out and reveal, the purpose of why Obama got elected and how he got elected, and like the psychological aspects, the scientific psychological aspects of why the people actually said, you know what, we're going to elect this motherfucker, because once he gets elected, everyone's going to allow him to do whatever the fuck they want, because there's this internal guilt at the history of this country when it comes to racism and race. Period. That's the reason why he's getting away with all this shit. That's the reason why he's getting away with all these amendments and all these executive orders, getting rid of and chopping off all the amendments of the Constitution. That's how he has a fucking assassination list, the drone programs, which he expanded far more than past what Bush ever fucking did. You know what I mean? And I'm putting some of the blame on Bush too. He needs to be put away for life. Period. But Obama, he's worse. Like, people don't want to accept that he's worse. And if you talk to minorities about it, specifically blacks and Spanish, they'll glass over like you're like they have no idea what you're talking about. Like, they know they're wrong. Like, no one can see the future. You know what I mean? Like, no, I voted for him his first term. I voted for him, and then after I saw all the things he started doing, I saw the light. It wasn't about propaganda or listen to all these hardcore right wing, conservative, racist extremists. It's literally, I looked at what he was doing and I compared it to what he was saying, and I said, you know what, this guy's a liar. He's bullshit. He's full of shit. He's full of crap. Period. And I made my assumptions and my estimations from there. And minorities need to get that, because we're becoming the majority, and the power of actually doing something in the country lies on us. But we're too discombobulated, we're too disconnected, we have no understanding of what's going on in terms of the bigger issues, and that's a fucking problem. But the major issue is the Constitution, the structural Constitution, which needs to be brought back. The next issue, the economy. The economy is slowly collapsing. I used to take trips to when I was working at the Bronx Zoo, and when I would go to the zoo, there was a friend of mine who I met, and we was talking. He was like, "Yo, Bob, we need to start a business." So we was working together to get this business off the ground. So I would take trips to White Plains Road. Now, if you go to White Plains Road, you got to take like the LIR, and it's a pretty beautiful place. It's basically white people semi-affluentville. It's a very nice place. Shopping malls, restaurants, districts, all that shit. Very beautiful looking place, not ghetto at all. So I would go down there, and I went down like probably 7 to 8 times, and out of the 7 to 8 times within a 2-month span, I noticed that stores were slowly closing down. Like this bar, very nice looking bar. I went there one time, it was filled with people. Like 2 weeks later, it's closed down. No one's there. Toy store closed down. Pizza shop closed down. A lot of places down there closed down. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And then I slowly started to notice America it's slowly atrophying. A lot of places are closing down. Period. Go to my neighborhood. I went to my neighborhood and I used to buy the Jamaican food. What do you call it? It's like a Golden Crust, but it was like a little family-owned spot. The same type of food, very delicious, very good tasting food. I would go in there and they were there for a year, and then all of a sudden closed down, disappeared. Then the spot that they had was bought by some Spanish couple, and it was turned into an eyeglass district. And the funniest thing is people are not noticing the Spanish transformation of the country. My entire neighborhood is little South America. Now I don't have a problem with that, but there's something that people don't understand about when you're getting forced out from where you live by the slow transformation of certain places. Like this whole immigration bill and the whole protecting the borders is crap. It's bullshit. Like, how is it within the next 2 years, literally the entire neighborhood is almost completely Spanish? Period. Like, literally, people, like, you look at them, they have no money, but they own stores. Like, how the fuck is that possible? Or they got a loan from the bank. Really? They got loans from the bank, yet other motherfuckers can't get loans from the bank to do basic, simple shit. I know two black dudes that wanted to get a loan from the bank to start their own businesses for something else, and the bank, they couldn't get the loan from the bank for some reason because their credit is bad. But these people who just immigrated into the country automatically, just magically are able to get loans. I honestly think it might be a friend of mine suggested to me, and I think he might be right. It might be an angel investor or a Spanish angel investor who said, "Yo, here's a couple G's. You buy this store and you stock it up with whatever, and then you hit me off with whatever type of shit you earn, a piece of the percentage or whatever the fuck it is." Period. But I'm starting to notice that most people are not noticing that. I went to 34th Street and there's a spot on 34th. There's a KFC. Like as soon as you get off the end of the R and you turn around the block and you go back to where the square is, basically where Macy's is at, you look across the street. There's a KFC that's like combined with a like a Dunkin' Donuts or some shit like that. And you go in, and this place has been there for like ages. Literally. Pretty much like a year ago, the shit closed down. I'm like, yo, that place in Manhattan gets mad business, and they shut down. There's something to that when places like that are closing down. And you're going to see a lot of places in Manhattan that's going to close down like pretty soon. It's amazing. People don't open their eyes and see what the fuck is happening. So the major issues is the advent of World War III, the destruction of the Constitution, which is going to lead to a totalitarian state, which is happening right in front of our eyes. Pay attention. And the collapsing of the economy. And then there's other smaller issues that people need to pay attention to, like the Monsanto Act. Like that's very important. I think actually that's one of the major issues. Our food supply, like, actually, yeah, that's a major issue. That's one of the four. That's a major issue people need to pay attention to. Monsanto getting special laws to protect them from prosecution from federal court judges. That's a problem, and that's fucking dangerous. No. Government and finance should not be in the same bed together, period. When you have a president or some type of political leader who's in bed with corporations or companies or firms, that's a very bad, dangerous combination, period. But then again, he did hire the dude as part of his agricultural executive secretary of the agricultural department, who was literally a former head of Monsanto board, who sat on the board of Monsanto. So, you can't really argue with that. But then people should be like, yo, that's a conflict of interest, because once they create a bill or sign a law like that, it automatically should have been conflict of interest. They should have kicked that motherfucker out. But no one's paying attention to it. Alright, that's it for my rant. I'm done. Peace.